Hello everyone, this is Forrest Price with your Monday Moment! Hope everyone's having a blessed day. I'm assuming most people are off since there was no traffic this morning. So I noticed a government holiday, so be thankful you had a 3-day weekend, and I hope you're making the best out of it. So let's start with our birthdays. Patricia Lewis. Kamisha Vernon, Donald Taylor, Asia Richards, Clora Love, Renea Crockett, my nephew, Joseph Lewis, Janet Glasgow, my favorite brother-in-law, Daryl Lewis, today, Deidre Wyatt, Nate Jacobs, Marshall Rhodes, Barbara Rook, she turned 94. Nicole Dawson, Melinda, she just turned 22. And Kia Bennett. Everyone, happy birthday! All right, I don't really have shout outs. I'll just shout out my organization, the Lay Organization. We will be serving continental breakfast the entire month of September between 8:30 and 9:30 at Ward AME Church. Come out. Don't just come out. You can come out for that continental breakfast, but come out for early morning service, which starts at 7:45, or you can come for the 10 a.m. service. Dear Lord, I thank you for the day and blessing me with this subject that came to me out of nowhere, and it touched my heart, and I didn't want to slow it down with shout outs, and hopefully this will touch someone, and hopefully something positive will come out of it. Bless everyone as they go out. Don't have them be reckless out there. Let them be safe and enjoy their day. All right. Our topic today is teen runaway. Yes, I'm getting serious today. I probably won't joke at all during this. I'm going to start off with some question and answers, and then I will get to a top 10 about what parents should and shouldn't be doing. All right, here are some of the most common questions about teen runaways. Question: is it illegal for a minor to run away? Well, in most states, but not all. It is not a crime to run away from home. In many states, running away repeatedly may cause a child to come under the control of juvenile or family court. The court can then provide services to the child and the family, such as counseling. So, in some states, yeah, it is a crime, but it's minor. You know, I think the cops really rather resolve the problem than have something on a child's record. Again, if it becomes repeated, then, you know, the local people will get involved, as they should. Why do teens run away? The most common reason that teens run away is family problems. Family problems might include fights over money, grades, strict rules, boyfriend, girlfriends. Alcohol or drugs can play a role in teens running away. Often teens may run away because of emotional, physical, or sexual abuse at home. So, yeah, it's that home life. And we have to do a better job of communicating with our kids, you know, and this is a real problem. All right. Can I run away at 17? There's really no simple solution to that question. The police will unlikely come to rescue or force your child who voluntarily runs away, or force them to return home at that age, unless that teenager is a danger. This means that any child that is 17 or older, or between 17 and 18, will not suffer legal consequences if they run away from home. So, yeah, and I believe in some states even 16. You know, even if you're not emancipated, cops probably won't do much about it. unless it's a situation where, someone is being manipulated by an older person, and then they'll definitely get involved. All right. How long do you have to wait to report a runaway? Well, I'll put this very simple. Forget what the movies say. You do not have to wait 24 hours to report your child as a runaway. Do it immediately. All right. How do I report a runaway teenager? Well, you contact your local law enforcement agency. You look up your local police precinct and call the main office rather than calling 911. Give the child's personal information to the police, or you can call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the NCMEC. I don't have the number. I probably should have. All right. What do you do when your teenager threatens to run away? All right, if your teenager threatens to run away, the first thing you need to do is remain calm. Then attempt to calm down your child. Ask them to sit in the living room or the kitchen with you for a moment and just cool things down. Things may get heated, and they may be too upset to truly know what you want at the moment. But that is the first rule. Calm them down. Because a lot of times the threat is just to get a reaction out of you. So calm down. All right. Question, can I kick my teenager out of the house? Well, kicking an underage child out of the house without the child being emancipated can often be considered child abandonment, which is a crime. So, no. What is the punishment? Question, what is the punishment for harboring a minor runaway? Well, unlawfully harboring a minor is a Class 2 misdemeanor, which may result in time spent in jail and a fine up to $1,000. All right, we are done with the question and answers. I'm going to focus now on how to deal with defiant teens. And parents, this is to the parents. All right, number one, tie privileges to good behavior. What your teen might consider as necessities are really privileges that they should have to earn. Electronics, money, driving, and time with friends are all wonderful things that your teen may be allowed when they are behaving appropriately. These privileges should be taken away if your teen calls you names, refuses to comply with house rules, or engages in some other disrespectful behavior. So yes, those are all privileges. Privileges for good behavior. Number two, avoid repetition. For some reason, it seems like most parents at one point or another resort to repeating themselves, nagging their teens or reminding them over and over if they don't do something, they will be grounded. Usually does not work. Many times it just encourages defiance and steals your authority. Instead, give directions one time only, offering only one warning, and then follow through with the consequence. It is the fastest way to achieve compliance while also maintaining a more peaceful household. So one warning, then lay down the law. All right, 3, enforce your consequences. Once you've decided what limits and or rules are important to you, stick to them and establish specific consequences for breaking them. You absolutely must follow through in enforcing consequences to see change in your teen's behavior. Do not ever threaten a consequence that you will not enforce. Your teen will call your bluff, and when you don't follow through, you will lose your authority. If your teen doesn't comply, provide the consequence in a calm manner. For example, you might say, You didn't clean your room like I asked you to, so you won't be allowed to go to the movies. Or since you're home late tonight, you will not have access to the car this weekend. Enforce the consequences. Number 4, have a plan. When your teen acts defiant, the situation can become very emotional. Your teen may be angry, and their behavior can in turn make you angry. Unfortunately, emotional gut reactions generally do not help calm the conflict. So it is best to create a strategy beforehand. Plan out what you're going to say to your child ahead of time before she acts out again. Deliver your message in a simple, clear, and calm manner. So just have a plan. Don't just emotionally react. It never works out. Just calm down, have your plan, and follow through. Number 5, praise good behavior. Offer your teen a compliment or simply thank you when you see them making a good choice or doing something you ask. You might say, "Thanks so much for cleaning your room," without even being asked. Your compliments, as long as they're not sarcastic or over the top, will encourage your teens to continue to do good things. If you are always on their back about what they're doing wrong, they will end up feeling like they can't do anything right, so why bother? Acknowledge the small steps they take in positive directions. All right, number 6, teach problem solving. Despite what your teen may say, they usually do not prefer to deal with their problems alone. As a parent, you are the teen's teacher, coach, cheerleader, and disciplinarian. Part of your role is to teach your teen how to solve their own problems. When things are calm, you might say, "This behavior won't solve your problem. It will only get you into more trouble. So how can you solve this problem differently next time?" Listen to what your team has to say and suggest ideas if they can't come up with anything themselves. Additionally, it is important to realize that sometimes defiance is really a symptom of an underlying problem. Don't just assume your child is being defiant when they refuse to do something. Perhaps they don't understand their classwork, so they refuse to do the homework. Or perhaps they are afraid of speaking in public, so they refuse to prepare their project. You might need to help them develop a new or specific skill to address the underlying problem. Yes, talk it through. Find out what the real problem is. 7, focus on one behavior. If your teen is acting defiant in a number of different ways, it will be difficult and exhausting to try and address all the problems at once. Instead, choose the one behavior that is bothering you the most and begin to plan the steps you will take to improve that behavior. For example, if your teen is disrespecting or cursing at everyone in the family, not doing their homework, and also breaking their curfew, you need to decide which of these behaviors you cannot live with or seems more detrimental to their safety. When you have enforced consequences for the first behavior and is under control, then you can move on to the next most bothersome behavior. So again, don't try and do all at once. You can't. You can't. Number 8, pick your battles. In all honesty, many family conflicts are not worth your time and energy. It's important to decide which battles are worth fighting and which are best to let go. Avoid power struggles. Many times teens will use petty arguments to delay having to comply with rules. Instead, concentrate only on battles that truly need your attention to protect your teen's well-being. By avoiding minor disagreements, you create a more peaceful environment for your family, which can usually give your team more confidence to approach you on more significant issues. So yes, leave the pettiness alone, and let them slide on little stuff and focus on the big stuff. 9, stay respectful. Youth often come across as rude and disrespectful to their parents, teachers, and other authority figures, which can be incredibly frustrating. Unfortunately, many adults respond by being rude and disrespectful back. But this is not constructive. As the adult, you must model behavior you want to see. Regardless of what you preach, if your team sees you respond disrespectfully to them, then they will assume that disrespectful behavior is appropriate. So you need to not go down to that level. You've got to be what you want them to be. And if you go down, that's what they're going to see as acceptable. All right, last one. Get support. When your teens act inappropriately, it becomes easy to think we are bad parents and feel disappointed or even depressed. Do not buy into these negative thoughts or isolate yourself. Instead, find someone to talk to, whether it's a therapist, support group, friend, trusted family member, church member. You will be surprised at how much better you will feel when someone simply listens to you. So I hope this long video was helpful to someone. I don't have any personal experience with this, so but the subject touched my heart today. So I hope everyone have a rest best your day and your blessed week. See you next month.